After 14 weeks, the Arenalacrosseleague playoffs are here. Hello and welcome to Memorial Arena in Brampton, home of the Express, as they get set to entertain the Oshawa Outlaws in the first of four quarterfinal games this weekend, with the winners moving on to the Final Four championship weekend next weekend. As usual, Lance Wynn partnered with JVI Productions. Let's get to the starting goalies for the visiting Outlaws. It'll be Lane Harushka, comes in with a 2-2 record. And at the other end, Devlin Shanahan sports a 5-2 record for the Express. Of course, the Express wearing their home grays. Official for tonight's game, Joel Firmhand Furman is the crew chief. He's joined by Mike Melvin and Trevor Wilson. Head coaches, Joe Hiltz is the main man for Oshawa. His assistants are Todd Wilfong, Neil Pike, and Justin Warner. And for Brampton, it's Jeff Dowling. His assistant is Ryan Campbell. And as we get set to go here, of course, these two teams met twice during the regular season. Brampton winners both times. The first time 12-10, second time 17-14. What can we expect here today? Well, fireworks, quite frankly, as this, of course, the first of four. And right off the bat, the Outlaws will get the first offensive possession and transition on the move. Josh Gilray wasn't able to pot that pass. Instead, out of there quickly is Shanahan, and now the Express, one of the top offenses in the league, finished second place. Of course, Oshawa comes in as the number 7 seed, and Jake McNabb, one of the reasons why they have been one of the strongest offensive teams, averaging 17 points a game. McNabb, his second shot, that goes off the post, almost fished out. Josh Tagore is going to let that slide, and that'll be a shot clock violation. So the Outlaws hold court in their first defensive stand. They'll work it over the timeline now and try to go back to work. James Whiteford, keep an eye on him, as you always do, going to that main man there, the filter and the hub of this offense in John St. John, who turns the corner. His shot knocked down by Trevor McDonald, regains it in front. Carter Page was wide open on the doorstep, wide of the mark, and instead now the Express will come away with it. Colin Matthews. Keep an eye on that speedster. He can move. Wrong stick side, so he'll look to curl out, set things up, and now they'll go to work. Zach Sutherland. Curtis Ward coming off his best Arenalacrosseleague regular season. He has been impressive. Now, with all that said, of course, once you get to the postseason, it's the second season. So wipe out all those things that have happened in 14 weeks, and we're starting from scratch. Jake Gilmore looking for an opening. Dumps that down, was looking for Simons. Nothing doing there. And an outlet pass lobbed up. Good job by Jacob Janke. Janke with an opening. His shot steered aside. So right off the bat, some solid goaltending as the netminders get tested early. Outlaws looking to move that up to Gorey. Good spin move on Janke to get over the timeline, but bad pass. Trevor McDonald now is going to step in. Joey Zabel chasing him. Big save right off the bat. Stepping up Harushka as he closed the door on a golden opportunity by Trevor Wilson. Jay Whiteford trying to track that down. He does. Andrew Horsley all over him. He'll curl back out. They'll work it to St. John, set things up. Looking to turn that corner. Good hard overhand was Catoni. And now another quick outlet. So a little bit of a smaller rink, Brampton Memorial. You got to keep your eyes peeled. Don't blink. Transition in only one pass as Ryan Nolan, the vet. Good to have him back as he gets taken down. And first penalty of the game is going to go against the Express. And St. John will set it up. They'll work it around. Simon's on that right side shooter. Overload. Catoni steps into one. Shanahan stops that. So first power play opportunity belongs to the Outlaws. They were very effective on the power play in their 2 final games of this season in the regular season, and hope to carry that over. And when I had a chance to speak with Jeff Dowling and the coaching staff for the Express, one of the things, their top things, was stay out of the penalty box. They know Oshawa's power play is dangerous. The other was to continue to play unselfish lacrosse, move the ball around. And you'll see everyone will get a touch here, and that one's given right up as Shanahan intercepts that. He'll loft it up back door almost in the basket to Ferreira, but he wasn't able to haul that down, so the Outlaws dodge a bit of a bullet there, and they'll bring it back up, set up the power play unit. Just over 11 and a half to go here, minute 40 in the power play. St. John, and a chance for Page to step in, but good job getting the sticks in the shooting lane, and Tyler Halls now will run it down, and Brampton now will look to burn some valuable seconds here. Halls going for a bit of a run. Tagore working him over, and down to plenty of time. Flipped out Ferreira, trying to duck in, gets a shot off. But good defense there by Chris Veltman. Better, though, at retrieving the offensive rebound was Halls. Halls still has it. Kick back out. Ferreira will look to burn some more time. Under a minute to go now in the penalty. Ferreira bounces off Millsap. Millsap chases him down. Finally coughs it up, and Veltman now with it. So you can already see that the playoff atmosphere here, teams are a lot more deliberate on offense in their offensive sets, trying to get everyone involved early on. Gilray out there now on that right crease. St. John at the top, facilitating as usual. In tight, that bouncer, too much on it. St. John tracks it. 5 in the shot clock. Katoni going to get another chance. Kick out. Waltzes in, and over the net is Simons. And now Janke on the run. Going to be tough to catch him. Janke, big save, rebound, and that one's pocketed. It's Horsley. So how about Andrew Horsley following up on Janke's attempt? And Harushka did everything to make the first save, couldn't stop the second. Horsley, first goal of these 2025 Arena Lacrosse League playoffs, 1-0 for the Express. I'm sure if you laid down money on that, and that's a short-handed marker at that, if you laid money, Horsley wouldn't be your guy, but Jonah Beam now looking to lean in. This Brampton team has got contributions from everyone all season, and one of the reasons they finished second in the standings. Curtis Ward, big reason for that too. Swings it across. Penn Estrat getting worked over by Tagore, gets it back with 7 on the shot clock. Penalty over. That one, Austin Hazen let that one go, but a good job and that's a back-in call, so right in front of the officials, an easy call. So now with under 9.5 to go, Brampton will set things up deep in the offensive end. Estrat, he'll let it go. Good save by Harushka. Estrat will try and track down that rebound. Instead, though, no Millsap in there, and now here come the Express working over the timeline. Millsap got ahead of steam, bounces off a couple, flips it out. Joey Zabo has his crew here. Big shout out to the Zabo family as they have arrived to support Joey, of course. Chance here. Gilmore going hard, and I don't know if there was any contact there. I think that he tried to go by, and we're going to have to reset this here as they didn't like the fact that Page took a shot when the whistle had blown, and good job settling down and let the guys play. Matthews will fake the flip and work it down on the left side. Ferreira's pass finds McNabb off the boards. McNabb looking for a screen. Dump inside. That was too tough for Sutherland. Picked up though Ferreira. He's going to go one-on-one. He does with Nolan. Easy save by Harushka. Rebound picked up. And Sutherland, great job to give his team 20 more. McNabb looking inside, had Sutherland. Pass wasn't there. Ferreira trying to bail him out, looking for Sutherland. Couldn't connect again. McNabb with 10 on the shot clock. That one goes off a defender. I think Jeff Geddes may have made the save there, and that's going to go back, and possession will belong to Oshawa deep in the offensive end. So back and forth we go here. 1-0 score for the Express. And Katoni now will inbounds. Him and Whiteford on that left side. St. John parked at the top where he should be. They'll work it over, and it's Gilray. Katoni trying to duck in. Good defense there. Duncan Carte with the extra E. Gilray looking for something. That pass goes right to Shanahan. Shanahan will look for an outlet, and he finds one. And it's moved up, and it's Carte. Butka. Hazen's going to filter out down to that right crease. McNabb, he'll work it over. Ward looking to get a step, trying to curl. Zabo closed that off. Looking for something on the spin. Good save by Harushka. Picked up and a good body check. Zabo bounced off it, and that's the extra correct will give possession to the Outlaws. So some good work by Joey Zabo there in the defensive end now, and Veltman will get it over the timeline and work it to Zabo. He'll flip retreat, St. John. Trying to duck in, flip back. Gilmore couldn't handle it. That's picked off, and it's Matthews now. He'll wait for some help. Transition defense there for the Outlaws and Estrad. Delayed penalty coming to the Outlaws. And McNabb now, so net empty for the extra attacker. Plenty of time to shot clock. Estrad looking for Sutherland. They just haven't been able to find him in a good spot. And with 6:44 to go, that will take us to our first officials timeout. And when I spoke with Joe Hiltz prior to today's game about what the Outlaws have to do, and he talked about teamwork and sharing the ball as being a big thing. And second thing, focus on the Brampton shooters. So you've got Sutherland, McNabb, and Ward. The three dangerous threats. They're all out there now in the power play. Throw in Ferrer and Hazen and, Searle and Hazen, and you got yourself one of the top power plays in the league. Sutherland, skip, everyone's touch. McNabb, Sutherland, that's the shot. Knocked down, though, and a good job there defensively by Nick Webb to get in the way of that. So Oshawa is keeping the box nice and compact. They want Harushka to get as good a look as he can. McNabb changed the angle. Another good save by Harushka. Track down Millsap. He's going to try to get out of trouble here. Going to have to hurry to get it over the timeline as it's stripped. And that's an 8-second call. So good job on the forecheck by the Express. Now, again, Tagore disrupting things. And he gets it over, and a good job by the Outlaws now in transition. Millsap has Tagore. Millsap, he'll pull it out. He was clearly looking to burn valuable seconds. Gilray trailing late. Gilray ducks in. Underhand, Josh Gilray. Short-handed marker, and that matches the shorty they gave up. So we are tied 1-1 now with still over a minute left in the Oshawa penalty. Not quite sure you would have scripted this one quite like that, but talked about Brampton coming in averaging 17 goals a game, Oshawa 13. Off the draw, Jonah Beam gets possession. Estrat now will work it up. So see here if this lethal power play, and sometimes with the Express, we've seen them in some games start off really hot. Other games take them a while. McNabb shot off the mark, and Tagore's going to try to run that down, and he does. Wrong stick side, but still gets a good shot off. So good attempt there by Tagore, and now a chance back the other way. Searle walks in, good save. Rebound, another good save by Harushka. So Harushka like a wall doing the job. And not that time, only a matter of time before Jake McNabb sets the sight just right. Picks up his first of the game, finished the regular season with 33 goals. So they give up one and get one, and the Express lead this one 2-1. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Of course, a reminder, quarterfinal number 2 goes tomorrow at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center, 1 p.m. It'll be the Oshawa Bears, the number 8 seed, taking on the top seed and defending champ, Whitby Steelhawks. Then Sunday, doubleheader at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Should be a good one as Zabo tried there and creased the call. It'll be the Toronto Monarchs against the Paris Riverwolves. That should fireworks in that one. And then the Peterborough Timbermen against the Six Nations Snipers. Down low, Sutherland. He was on his wrong stick side anyway. Not sure he would have been able to do a whole lot. Outlaws counter the other way. Bring it over the timeline now, and they'll flip to St. John. John St. John, another fantastic season, of course. His consistency, 8 years in the Arenalacrosseleague, and he's been one of the top scorers each and every year. Matthews moving up that right side. Waited for Nathan Jones, but they couldn't connect. Good job by Matthews to chase it down. Spins around, dumps it. Jones thinks better of getting it back. Finally does. They pull it back out. Work it across Butka. Hazen jumps out. Penalty over. Team's back to full strength. Stepping into that good underhand was Ward, but Haruska there. And again, great work on the offensive end by the Express. 20 more. Hazen. Him and Searle worked a two-man game. Hazen looked to go one-on-one. Working on Webb. Hazen gets the shot off. Stopped by Haruska. Picked up by Veltman. And he'll turn it up. They'll head the other direction. And it's Whiteford. Under 3.5 to go here. First quarter. Quarterfinal number 1. Arenalacrosseleague playoffs in full effect. Whiteford changes direction. Has it pop out of his stick. Some good defense there, but taking in hard. St. John bail him out. Kick it back out. Gilray. He'll go to the far corner. Good save, Shanahan. Rebound, Jonah Beam. He'll flip. And on the move now is McDonald. No numbers, so he'll think better of it. And they'll give it to McNabb. They'll set things up on offense. Ferreira looking for Sutherland, and they've thrown it to Sutherland every other way except the right way. And now on the move, Nolan finds Herlick, and his shot. Good split save made by Shanahan. Back the other way, Estrat. Has McNabb. Gets it back. Give and go. Shot underhand, and in the equipment, locked up, stuck to Haruska. But he gave it back, but he made another big save. So McNabb on the doorstep, knocking loud. But Haruska up to the task. Janke working on Whiteford, gets away from him. Kick it out on, had Page, but that was a tough pass. Outlet now, Halls in the basket. Tagore, great strip. Counter the other way, excellent defense, Tagore. On the move, and Tyler Halls wasn't feeling that, I tell you. I don't think he expected that. And now it's Catoni. Gilray out late again. Whiteford, one-on-one, looking for the spin. Gets double. Great flip. Catoni had it pop out of his pocket. Janke, shovel, works it to Estrat. Under 2 minutes. Trailing 8. Nathan Jones, off the post. So Nathan Jones rings that one off the iron. And it's still a 2-1 game in favor of the Express. Ward. Jones keeps it well out. They swing it across. Working at Janke. Gets a step. Diving. Saved by Haruska. I tell you, those gloves are loud, but they're working. Nolan, great work by the KG vet to get on that. Lofts it up. Geddes gets it over the timeline. Geddes will work to create some space in St. John. Horsley hounding him. On him. Simons, they'll work that side now. Gilmore, his shot right on. Trevor McDonald now will work it up the middle of the floor. McDonald, keep an eye, he'll let it go. Budka with an opportunity, stops, thinks better of it. We're into the final 35 seconds of this quarter. McDonald has room, goes to the overhand, he rings it off the iron. Rebound gobbled up by the Express, and Searle will send it across. They'll slow it down. 10-second differential, shot and game. Ward working now with 8 on the shot clock. Ward, his shot goes off a leg, and a timeout called by the Outlaws with 13.7 seconds left in this first quarter. Give us a chance to take a quick break. All set for the inbounds. Put a couple more seconds on the clock. 15.7 now. So Oshawa will get it over the timeline, set things up. Net empty for the extra attacker. looking for the equalizer. 2-1 for the Express here. They'll count it down. 6. Go to work now. Right side. Swing. Whiteford shot. Right on. Rebound. Nothing doing, and time will expire. But a very good opening 15 minutes. 2-1 for the home side Express. We'll be back with the second. Back here as we get set for second quarter. Both teams doing a good job feeling each other out, but once again, regardless of the 2 against 7 seed, these teams played each other tough all season. Told you, 2-goal differential in one game, 3 in the other. Brampton winners of both. They have possession now on offense. Ward out there on that left side with Ferreira. Ward looking to turn the corner. Zips it across. Sutherland. He'll do a skip himself. Looking to Ferreira. Ferreira can't shed a defender. 2 on the shot clock. Got to go with it. McNabb's backhand finds the mesh. And great job by the defense of the Outlaws. And now Zabo will leg it over the timeline. So some good work on the defensive end by the Outlaws to open up the second quarter. Catoni has room. Lets it go. Stopped by Shanahan. McDonald scoops it up. Has Matthews. Him and Matthews now. Trailing out is Jones. Can't find him. Finds Ward instead. Ward will set things up. Matthews trying to create a distraction inside. Gets it to Hazen. Hazen on the dump off. Great job by McNabb to even get a stick on it. Not the best pass. It was just a tough pass, not a bad pass. And now to work is Gilray. Good to see Josh Gilray, another member of the Outlaws, been around the Arena Lacrosse League since it began. Always great to have that. St. John looking for a duck in, his shot wide of the mark. Rebound, knocked down. Good job, then collected. Gilray got to let it go. That's right on. Shanahan looking for help, finds it. Outlet pass to Horsley. Horsley finds Ward. Ward with a chance. Twister top corner. Curtis Ward stepping up on a beauty transition goal. Great cut. Picks up his first of the postseason, and it's 3-1 for the Express. Curtis Ward had a monster season, 35 goals, 59 assists. And he did a little of everything for this Brampton team. I tell you, tip my cap to all the coaches in the Arena Lacrosse League. The challenges that they have aren't like in every other league. Times you're working with a different lineup 3-4 weeks in a row. Missing guys, injuries. St. John let that one go. That one off beam. Rebound picked up now, and Estrat's going to run under it. Estrat, wrong stick side. Dumps off. Janke. Janke shot stopped, though. Janke had a notion, but lost his footing and ended up in the crease now, and it's Zabo. Catoni will zip it across, half-board St. John. St. John gets a screen. Need to get him going. Needs a little bit of room. They're on him tight. Gilray bounces off McDonald. Too much going on in there with Carte, and now at the back door, it's Hazen. In alone over the shoulder. Austin Hazen. Second straight transition goal. And it's a 4-1 lead. First of the postseason for Hazen. Only played 4 games. Managed to pick up 8 goals, 13 helpers, and much needed addition to this Express team come playoff time. Good crowd on hand here at Brampton Memorial. It's funny how that happens. You look at the seats 5 minutes before game time, and they look relatively empty. 5 minutes into the game, they're relatively full. Estrat. He'll work it. Oshawa has to be careful here. This is the way the Express work. They'll lull ya. Ward diving and finds the mark, going airborne. So back at it for the second time, Curtis Ward. This time he changed it up and got a little lift, tucked that one downstairs on Harushka, and it's a 5-1 lead now for Brampton. Tell you, this Brampton team very, and no pun intended as them being the Express, but they sometimes move very much like a train, slow off the start, but once they get going, they're awfully tough. They pick up some momentum. They're tough to stop. So the Outlaws now are going to have to answer with something. They've been stuck on one for a while. St. John will work it down. It's Whiteford. I talk about St. John needing to step up. James Whiteford needs to as well. Page can't handle that one. St. John has a stick taken away from him. Battling there, Whiteford. And great forechecking as they continue to dig, and some excellent work to get it to Matthews. They have numbers 3-on-2. Dump over. Horsley! Oh my! Andrew Horsley with his second of the game. Finished the regular season with 2 goals, 2 assists. He's already matched his goal total in this first half. So I'm not quite sure with just under 11 and a half to go, but I think an Oshawa timeout might be warranted at some point in time just to slow down this roll. You can see now that the Express are starting to pick up some momentum here, and right now the Oshawa offense seems a little stagnant. Beam off the draw, dumping LeBar, and he had a chance too, so Brampton keeps coming at you, all different guys, all different ways. Back door, Gilray able to handle that pass. McDonald works him. Dump it down. Good job to hang on to that by Gilmore. Gilmore, swing across. Gilray gets a screen. Lets that one, finds the mark. So Josh Gilray, Outlaws were looking for something. They needed it. And he picks up his first of the postseason, a big one. Stops the run now, and it's 6-2. So second of the game for Gilray. And off the draw now, Estrat. Teetering on that line. Good hands by Matthews. Set it up, Nate Jones. Sutherland has room, and he finds the mark. I'm pretty sure that's in from my vantage point, and it is, as Harushka struck a pose, but that ball sat right inside that net. So a swift answer by the Express, and it's 7-2. So we talked about that trio. Zach Sutherland, his numbers, finishing second in the league in goals with 36. So it looks like Tagori's going to head to the penalty box. We're under 10.5 here in the second quarter, and looks like the hold is the call. So really just what you didn't want was to give the Brampton another power play opportunity. They're 1 for 1, but they've also given up a shorthanded on that same power play. So the usual suspects out there for the Express. McNabb at the top. He'll do the slide over on the interchange. Look for his. That one knocked down by Webb. Webb's made about 3 really good saves already in this game, and he's not in that crease. Sutherland looking to shift over. And he goes to the bounce, and it sneaks through. So Harushka started off hot, but now when you give this Express time to really stop and aim, boy, problems for you again. Second power play goal for Brampton now, and it's 8-2. Off the draw again. So right now, Brampton winning all of the loose balls and getting possession early. And of course, possession 2/3 of this game. Janke swings it around. Ferreira looks to get a step. Tagore closes that off. And again, when you mentioned off the top about got to stay out of the penalty box. That one over and back to call. Millsap jumps on it. And possession belongs to the Outlaws. So Millsap worked over by Matthews, who chased him down. Look to St. John, and he'll dump it off for some relief. Catoni on the run. That's right in the pad. So another defensive stop by the Express. Now they'll work it up over the timeline. Taking a while for Brampton to get their offense in order here. And that one wide of the mark. And you can see Oshawa, they'll leave one man down on the offensive end. That's been a very disruptive tactic. Butka, one-on-one over, looking for the quick stick finish from McNabb. Couldn't do it. And now the Outlaws move it up. Maverick Blackmere. Give way now, and it's Simons. Inside, give and go diving. That one off the crossbar. So Simons with a good opportunity. Just couldn't find any mesh on that play. Labar brings it over the timeline. Sutherland. That one's deflected by Geddes and will stay right here for a fresh 20. So I think one of the players grabbed the wrong stick accidentally, on purpose accidentally. One thing as a lacrosse player, you know your stick. That flipping Sutherland and can't connect cleanly. Geddes will run it down and look to turn it up the other way. Geddes got ahead of steam, but man down. Looks like it's Strocher, and he's going to need some assistance as he's down in the crease. That will allow added here as Jake Strocher had to get assisted off. He's headed to the dressing room to get looked at. We'll keep you updated on his status. Hopefully he's okay. Hall of Famer Jim Veltman in the house, of course, watching his son go to work here as the Outlaws got some work to do here, trailing by 6. 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Whiteford swings it around. St. John. Good ball movement now. Looking to go to work with 10 on the shot clock. St. John shot. That one's steered aside. He'll try to battle back and get that rebound. Labar has something else. Lost his stick. Whiteford able to pick that up. Shovels it back. St. John. They'll work with fresh 20 now. Gilray. Spins off one. Gilray runs into another and finds the mark. Gilray on fire. He is responsible for the 3 goals for the Outlaws, keeping them in this now. They trail now 8-3. Great effort by the veteran Gilray as he spun off one and ran into another defender, but his momentum as he leaned forward, able to tuck that one past Shanahan. And a big goal with just under 7.5 to play. Matthews and Nolan. Matthews, easy win. Matthews turns the corner. Wrong stick side. He finds the 5-hole. So how about that? Blink of an eye. Colin Matthews in the goal-scoring column here in the postseason, and the answers from the Express have come immediate. And a big one there. And if you're Ryan Nolan, you have to somehow at least slow Matthews down. Once that kid gets those feet going, boy, he's a blur. Off the draw, Janke. Zabel chasing him down. He'll flip. Estrat gonna have to hurry, and he does. Penn Estrat, boy, he does a little everything for the Brampton Express. Invaluable player. McNabb work it across. Jones. Estrat had it popped out of his pocket now, and Nolan was on the run. Ferreira with 8 on the shot clock. Takes that bouncer, and that goes off Harushka into the netting, and it'll be a fresh 20 for Brampton. On the run now is Millsap. Dumps it off. Quick shot, and it finds its way through. So the Outlaws continue to hang around here. That was a big one from Alex Simons, as much needed goal from someone other than Gilray. And it's 9-4. So Oshawa, a bit of a slow start offensively, but what they have to do is they really have to tighten up the defense. And off the draw, Jonah Beam, they work it up looking for Tyler Halls, and that hit will cost possession. So Brampton now to work on offense with under 6.5 to go here in the second. Janke looking to duck back in, nothing doing there. Ward out late. He'll take it right to the left side, goes around Maloney. Tried to go bounce. Harushka read that one. Searle battling for it with Maloney. Luke Maloney in there working hard, and just too much hands-on will give possession now to the Outlaws. As Whiteford now will dump it off, they'll look to leg it over the timeline. So Oshawa dodges a transition response. They had in the last 2 goals. Now a chance here to pull closer. Gilray. He'll let it go. Oh, Josh Gilray. Feeling the flow today, his 4th of the game. Good, solid overhand by Gilray. Low far side, and able to beat Devlin Shanahan. So back-to-back goals for the Outlaws, first time in this game. Now they trail by 4. Zabo in there, chopping down a tree, and Beam as well. Loose, Labar. He'll pick it up in some trouble and dumps it off. Great work by the Express to gain possession. McNabb. Chased by Tagore. He'll give way to Ward. Ward will swing it to Hazen. Hazen working one-on-one, skips it across. Ward ducks in, and that's an illegal screen by Ferreira. Possession the other way, so the Outlaws now with a chance to close the gap here. Tagore, careless, and McDonald will jump all over that. That's going to be an 8-second count anyway. So great job by Trevor McDonald. He put the pressure. I think Tagore just took his eye off the ball. Estrat. Sutherland, that pass was a little late. McDonald, though, will pick up that loose ball. Dump in one. Sutherland, wrong stick side wide. Janke, he'll take one and find the mark. So there's that answer we've seen so often. This time it comes from Jacob Janke, his first of the postseason. He, too, put together a fine regular season with 30 goals, 44 helpers, and the lead back to 5. 10-5 with just under 5 to go here in the second quarter. First quarter final of the weekend. Second goes tomorrow at the track, Oshweek and Whitby. And then a doubleheader Sunday at the ILA. Toronto, Paris, followed by Peterborough, Six Nations. Hazen, his bullet steered aside by Harushka. So a good save there. Big one made. Brampton knocking on the door again. Hazen spin. Hazen in alone. Crease, though, the call as he touched the line. So the Outlaws again dodge one and will look to move it up, close the gap again. St. John. He's been quiet, but only a matter of time for the master facilitator. And too much going on. Bodies flying on the screen. And quick transition. Ward tried a one-hander. Zabo, though, great footwork and hands. Zabo gets chased and knocked down. And manages to keep it, retain it. Great job by Joey Zabo. Catoni has room. Changes the angle well wide of the mark. Took a funny hop. McDonald knocks that down, and a delayed penalty coming here, and I think it's going to go to the Express. So that was the case there, as Estrat, just a little overly aggressive, will give the Outlaws their second power play opportunity of the game. They're 0 for 1. They've given up a short-handed marker. So a chance here with just under 4 minutes to go to close the gap. St. John at the top. Catoni, Whiteford on that left side. They'll inch in. Inside, beauty pass play, but it goes off the defender. Picked up Whiteford, no reset. St. John, underhand. That one goes off McDonald's leg. No reset again. 5, heaved in. Labar in the crease, gets it. He'll move it up. So a good job defensively by the Express now. And they'll spread the floor here and look to tick off some seconds. Minute 20 left in the man short. Janke, 6 on the shot clock, trying a little shake and bake. On the run, gets a shot off and scores. Oh, he utilized that perfectly. They didn't jump out on him. And Janke created just enough room to park one far side, another short-handed marker. So second power play for the Outlaws yields a second short-handed goal. And if you're Joe Hiltz and the coaching staff, you can't be happy about that. But that's one of those times when you had an offensive guy with the ball and an offensive defender. And there's a reason why guys play specific positions. Tagore off the draw. Gets up again. Good job to turn it over. That wasn't a high stick. That was stick on helmet. And Catoni now. So 45 seconds left here in a man advantage. Outlaws trying to cancel things out here. Come away with one. They already gave one up. 10 on the shot clock. Gilray, he has been outstanding in this game so far for the Outlaws. He has 4 of their 5 goals. 30 seconds left in the penalty now. Horsley will leg it over the timeline. He'll flip now, and Halls will be in no rush. Hazen has some room. Got to jump out on him. Tried to go short side. Picked up his own rebound. Crease, though. Good job by Veltman. Quick pass ahead, and it's Nolan. We're at the 2-minute warning. 5 seconds left to power play. St. John looking back, and that went out. So great save by Shanahan. Wow, as Gilray robbed on that play. So it's going to be a too many men on the floor call, and good job by crew chief Joel Furman stopping that before it even started. And back to the box, the Express, so back to the power play with 1:46 left in this first half. Now, mind you, when you look at the Oshawa power play, hasn't been very good to them up to this point. 0 for 2. They've given up 2 shorties and trail this one 11-5. So just had to reset as Shanahan all ready to go now. So usual suspects out there. Catoni and Whiteford have switched spots. Gilray stays on the right. Catoni sizing things up. St. John down low. Quick stick just closed off. That short side wasn't there. Shanahan may have moved the net, but he also closed off that sliver of daylight was there now. And Brampton now will look to move it up. Under a minute and a half to go in the second. Estrat dumping off, was looking for Ferrer. McNabb will play the carom. He'll get double teamed. Jake McNabb Keeps a hold, tries to duck in. Had possession, got it back. McNabb with 8 on the shot clock. Geddes on him. McNabb tried to twist her. Rebound comes Ferreira. Wrong stick side, right on. McNabb will pick that up. Great work by the penalty kill here of this Express. Nolan working McNabb over. 10 on the shot clock. Minute to go in the power play. We're into the final 42 seconds here. That one goes off the screen, so Oshawa now will move it up. 40 seconds on the game clock. Get a chance here with just under 50 seconds left in the man advantage. They can get St. John going here. That'd be big. Gilray's already red hot. Catoni on the interchange. Gilray looking down low. Trying to park one, but good save by Shanahan. Ball loose. 15 on the game clock. Battling for it. Janke scoops it up, lost it, picked up, moved over St. John. 6 on the game clock. Gotta go. 5. Catoni ducking. His shot knocked down, and that'll do it. 30 minutes have been played here at Brampton Memorial. 11-5 for the Express. Stick around. We'll be back with the third. Welcome back as we get set for the third quarter, and clearly the Oshawa Outlaws with some work to do, trailing by 6 to the Brampton Express, and the Express extremely tough at home. Of course, they finished with a 10-4 record, second place. Just want to take a second to send a shout out to Neil Pike's crew, as his 2 young ladies, fortunate enough to meet them, and like I told them, and I want to make sure that Neil knows I don't talk behind his back, as Neil and I former teammates at York University, but as far as looks go, the daughters way better looking than dad. That said, the Outlaws dodge a bullet there, as possession-wise, good job by Zabo now swinging across Gilroy. He's been red hot. Gilray, his underhand right on Shanahan, and going to have a penalty on a legal cross-check, and it looks like it may go to Estrat. So Estrat will head to the penalty box. The Outlaws will go to their 4th power play. They're 0 for 3, giving up 2 shorties in the first half. So St. John will orchestrate again, and again, that one's picked off as Shanahan read that backdoor. Searle harassed by Veltman. Veltman scoop. We've heard that before, and he'll work it up the other way. So good job by the captain, and now they'll set things up. So Whiteford and Catoni on that side. St. John, Page in that right shooter spot with Gilray. Down on that crease. Step in. Catoni finds the mark. So a good overhand seems to be the recipe, as first power play goal of the game for the Outlaws. First of the game for Catoni. He finished the season with 22 goals, 24 assists, 46 points overall, and that one comes at a big time. So 11-6 now. We'll see if the Outlaws can mount and pick up some momentum here. Off the draw, Millsap battling in that half boards. Scrum ensues. Matthews in there as well, and coming away with it, Stagori knocks it away to Webb. Webb, quick pass, but a bad one. Millsap, great recovery, gets it over the timeline. Outlaws now with possession if they can hang on to it, but it's stripped. Shanahan lobs it up, and we'll go back the other way. So this has been the way things have rolled. Janke and the Express, every time the Outlaws put one in the net, back come the Express to answer. It's only been once where Oshawa's put together back-to-back goals. Estrat. He'll get a screen. Sutherland has room now. He goes to the, should have probably taken the first one, but Harushka, and he has that one knocked down. So Janke gives his team another possession, and they'll set up the offense. So after holding for 30, not able to retain possession. And now Brampton with another opportunity here. Looking inside, it gets knocked down by Nolan. Good defense there. And just goes to show you need some vets on your team. You need that leadership. And here's Catoni now. Coming off that goal. Ducks in, changes the angle. Overhand, wide of the mark. Gilray will bail him out. No reset. St. John. Swing around Catoni. Looks inside. Not sure he was looking for Gilmore, but ill-advised. And now Trevor McDonald legs it up. One man to beat, Tagore. And McDonald will curl back out, change direction, and hang on to it. Dumps it off, but it's picked off by Geddes. Geddes, hesitation move over the timeline. Hazen hounded him. He'll flip retreat now, and it's Whiteford. 12 minutes to go here, third quarter. Whiteford ducks in. Lets it go, Whiteford. That was a quick release underhand. Boy, oh boy, that was a sweetie. It's 11-7. So you look down the list for these Outlaws, and you know you needed something from Whiteford. You probably needed something from St. John as well. Those two guys quiet up to this point. But I think you got to give credit to that Brampton defense as they have really tightened things up. But back-to-back goals here by the Outlaws as they trim the deficit now to 4. So different game here. Off the draw belongs to the Outlaws. They look to get it over now, and it's Simons. Simons, one-on-one shot, stopped by Shanahan. Rebound picked up Janke. He'll turn it up the other way. That's how quick one opportunity can turn into another. Janke, McNabb. First time McNabb stepped on the floor here in the second half. He'll work it. Janke trying to turn the corner, chased out by Maloney. Ward, he'll let that go. Veltman got a stick on that, no reset. 5 in the shot clock. McNabb, got to let it go. Harushka steers it aside, get loose. McNabb went for it. Outlaws, though, will scoop it up, and they now will own possession. So for the third straight time, Oshawa with a chance again. This is the start they were looking for. Opportunity, that one, stick check. Simons, chance, that one wide of the mark. And that'll go up into the screen and belong to Brampton. Good job by Matthews to leave it. And now Estrad. Sutherland swinging across. Searle looking to get a step. Shovel late. That was ill-advised with still lots of time on the shot clock now, and it's Nolan. So the Outlaws still hanging around here. That pass, and great job just to hang on to that by Gilray. Gilray, Horsley on him. Whiteford, one-on-one with McDonald, swims over him. Whiteford tried to go far side. Shanahan, good save. That will get flipped now, and Halls will look to work it up. And he finds McNabb. We're under 10 minutes to go here, third quarter. Lance Wynn alongside JVI Productions. Thanks for tuning in. First of 4 quarterfinal matchups. That one almost deflected and in. But Sutherland couldn't handle that pass, and once again in tight quarters. And now the Outlaws will have to hustle to get it over. They do with Simons. Oshweekend and Whitby will go tomorrow afternoon. Doubleheader Sunday, Toronto, Paris, Peterborough, Six Nations. Whiteford, going to be a delayed penalty coming, and it's going to go to, I'm not sure if it'll be coincidental or, so that is the case. So it's going to be Duncan Carte with the extra E that's going, and Carter Page. So if you're Brampton, you're going to take that trade off. But looks like a holding on Carte and too much back talk from Page, and we're under 9.5 to go here. So Hazen will inbounds. We'll play 4-on-4 lacrosse for a couple of minutes. And just when the Outlaws were getting some momentum going, you see Brampton just sort of put everything to a dead stop, and now they'll set things up here on offense. Hayes in a handful. Ward, speaking of handfuls, he's going to duck in. Ward works in, off the crossbar. Rebound, McNabb! So I tell you, fortuitous bounce off the crossbar right to Jake McNabb, and he parks it. That's McNabb's second goal of this game. First of the second half for Brampton, and it's 12-7. So just hard to maintain the momentum against this Brampton team. They're awfully tough. Great pickup by Labar. On the move, has Estrat. Dumps it off as Halls. He'll think better of it, work it back. That's picked off by Arushka. So one good pickoff deserves another, or two if you are Shanahan. And now Tagore. St. John in his spot, kicks it over Simons, 10 on the shot clock. Catoni dunks in, gets it St. John. St. John waits, that one shot right on. St. John trying to fish that out, nothing doing. Hall's outlet pass, and it's janky. Under 8.5 to go here, third quarter. It's a 12-7 game. Home side Express leading this one. Trying to earn an invite to next week's Final Four. That pass goes awry. Geddes will pick it up and conveniently move it up. Whiteford isolated one-on-one on that left side. Whiteford ducks in. Horsley may have got away with a bit of a high stick there. Gilray, 10 on the shot clock. Goes over the top. Gilray single-handedly keeping his team in it with his fifth of the game. Josh Gilray has really made some outstanding good offensive decisions here. Not trying to do too much, staying within himself, going to the overhand, which is fundamentally one of the toughest shots for any netminder to stop because you can put it anywhere, up, down, mid, whatever. Go bounce with it, and Gilray has certainly put on a clinic of that today off the draw. Beam picks it up, shovels back Labar. They'll pull it right back out with Estrat. 10 seconds left in the Coincidental Miners. And a 4-goal lead for the Express. Penalties over, teams all even, 5 aside. Ferreira gets a step. Ferreira right on the doorstep, stepped in the crease. Possession will belong back to the Outlaws. And with 7:17 to go, that'll take us to our officials' timeout. Back after our officials' timeout. Outlaws will inbounds. So a pivotal time here for these Oshawa Outlaws. The lead is 4. They've closed the gap to 2, but that's it. Kick out on the curl, inside, bounces. Catoni lets it go wide of the mark. Simons, no reset, back to Catoni on the left. He'll skip it across. That one, Page, let that one go. Tried to fish out the rebound, but Beam had that secured, and now it's Horsley. Estrat will wait for the rest of the offense. Oshawa will leave an offensive man in the offensive end. Now Catoni will retreat Sutherland. He's been quiet in this game. Ward. Good shake and bake and on the run. So that's one of the things Curtis Ward brings to the table, his ability to shoot the ball hard on the run and in stride. And a good example of that there for his third of the game. So I said pivotal time. It just, again, the Express with answers. Just over 6.5 to go, third quarter. Off the draw, Millsap splits a couple defenders. Halls is going to stay right on him. And finally, Joey Zabo will clear some space. Gilray, half boards, right side. Labar with an eye on him. Simon swing across. Gilmore, one-on-one, gets a good hard screen. Halls gets that back on the screen and roll. 5 on the shot clock. Simon's inside. St. John, quick shot off the post. So that'll go out of play and give Oshawa 20 more. And boy, you put St. John in a tough position with that pass, but great players react in great ways, and that's exactly what we did on the cut. Whiteford had that far corner, couldn't finish. Good job as Gilmore runs it down. Whiteford now go for the dunk, airborne. Too much dunk on it, and it went back behind the net, and now Janke on the run. Full stride, dumps it out. Searle! Transition goal for the Express, 14-8. Jeremy Searle out of that back door. And like the Express have been doing all season, no problem sharing the ball, finding the open man, and a good job in transition. It's going to be interesting to see as the playoffs roll on what teams are able to stay consistent and do what they do. Off the draw, Tyler Halls. Dump over Hazen. Good hands on the short hop. Ferreira. And that's what one of the things the coaching staff stressed. They just want to keep doing what they've been doing. Hazen has room. Steps into one. That's wide of the mark, and Harushka got a piece of that and steered it up out of play. So a fresh 20 now for McNabb and company. Hazen again, Veltman on him. Screen comes, skip across, Ward. Ward off, bounces off his own man Ferrari. He gets bounced out of there behind the net. Estrat has room to come around. He tried to go airborne, but good job by Veltman to knock it down. And now Geddes. Veltman dumps it off Katoni. One-on-one on Adamson. Gets some help from McDonald. Kick out St. John. He'll wait now. Simon's out late. Working Katoni back there. Diving, and he's wide of the mark. Picked up and head down. Janke with a head of steam again. McDonald jumps in the rush. Good transition D by the Outlaws as they close that off. Now McNabb. McNabb and Janke. Two-man on that side. Kick out, Ward has some room. He goes high over the net. That's going to be an over and back call. And possession will belong to the Outlaws deep in the offensive end with just over 4 minutes to play here, third quarter. So the good news, one of these teams is going to earn an invite to next week's Final Four. The bad news, one of these teams is going to be done for the season. And right now, it's still, despite 6-goal lead up for grabs. Whiteford. Outlaws have continued to battle back. Tough pass looking for Simons. Picked up by Cart with the extra E. He's going to move it up, and it's Beam. Talk about Jonah Beam. You talk about Penn Estrat, what he brings. Jonah Beam, his leadership, his stability, things that he does. Calming influence out there. Sutherland feeds it over on the skip. That pass went awry, and good job by Millsap to keep it from being a back-in call. Rolls off one and now moves it into the offensive end. Page. St. John. Gets a screen, has Whiteford, nothing there. St. John looking in. On the run, Page! Beauty feed from the master facilitator, and they get back in it. It's 14-9. Carter Page on the board. For the first time in this ball game, first playoff goal. Played 8 games this year, had 8 goals, 16 assists, and a big one there to close the gap with just over 3 minutes to play here in this third quarter. So the Express have been able to counter, they've been able to answer, but they just have not been able to put these Outlaws away as they continue to fight here. Outlaws regain possession now. They'll look to move it up. Gilmore. Catoni looking inside and had a man. That went off the head of the stick and out. And tough try, but right back at him. Here come the Express with Estrad. Ferreira through the middle. Estrad will think better of that and be in no hurry under 2.5. Ward. Eludes, splits two defenders. Out late Hazen. Hazen rolls off one. Gets a good shot off. Veltman now with possession. He'll look to leg it over the timeline. Good backhand pass, finds Tagore. 2-minute warning. Third quarter. St. John working across Whiteford. Inside. Page tried a great save there by Shanahan. Robbed with the glove. Going to be a penalty on illegal cross-check. So Page steps it up here in these last few minutes, but Shanahan up to the task with a great glove save. So it's going to be Riley DeLille going to go to the penalty box. Outlaws now 1 for 4. This their 5th power play opportunity. So a big one here. If you're Oshawa, you need to capitalize. You can't fall down any more than 5 here heading into the final quarter. So the usual suspects out there. St. John on the interchange. Skip inside Catoni. Good job by Beam. Got a stick in the way there. Now outlet pass. Here comes McDonald. McDonald up the middle. Dumps off. He'll kick it out. Estrat lets it go. Gets his own rebound. So that worked out as convenient as possible for the Express. Estrat will let it go again. Another save by Harushka. This time Tagore's going to knock it away. Catoni's going to pick it up with 1:20 to go in the power play. Final minute here, quarter number 3. Gilray. This time not picked off. Pass behind to Whiteford. Simons. Box collapsed right in. Catoni has room. That one finds the mark. Catoni from that left shooter spot. Second power play goal of the game for the Outlaws, and it's 14-10. Second of the game for Catoni. And like I said, comes at a big time for the Outlaws. They continue to hang around with 50 seconds to go here in the third. Off the draw. Webb had it. Labar, though, secures it. He'll zip it up. Janke on the run now. Has Halls with him. Halls! Bouncer finds the back of the net. So Harushka had it initially in the basket. And it clearly went across the goal line and out. That was an odd angle. And so the explanation was the ball did cross the plane and then went wide off Harushka and wide. So Hall's going to get credit for that goal. And again, another quick answer by the Express. Just when the Outlaws were regaining some momentum, and that's too much. We'll give possession to Brampton with 35 seconds to go. So 5-goal cushion restored for the Express. Chance here to add to their total. McNabb, they'll keep it spread, work some clock. 10-second differential. Sorry, not even. 6 seconds. 10 on the shot clock. 8. 10 on the game clock. Ward spins. Zabo worked him over. Good defense now. 8 seconds to go. Outlaws on the move. Nolan down low. On the run as Page tried something out of the toy box there. Couldn't get it to go, but 3 quarters have rolled on by. 15-10 Express. Welcome back as we're here at Brampton Memorial Arena. Quarterfinal number 1 between the Oshawa Outlaws, Brampton Express, headed to the fourth quarter, 15-10 for the home Express. And goaltending change as Ryan Szyckowski's come in relief of Lane Harushka, and off the draw, janky twister, and he's tested right away. Szyckowski standing tall. So and it was speculated earlier that Harushka may have suffered a knee injury earlier in the game, and you can see, takes that out. What a bounce shot. Gilray, he got the Midas touch. Everything he throws at that net is fine in the mesh. 6th goal of the game for Gilray. More importantly, it's 15-11. So certainly plenty of fight left in the Oshawa Outlaws, as that one from Gilray, wrong stick side, bounced perfectly in that top corner on Shanahan. And any netminder will tell you, overhand bounce, toughest shot to stop. Off the draw, Janky puts on the Jets, wrong stick side, Estrat. He goes to the bounce, Szyckowski, great save. So right off the bat, he's paid dividends with 2 tough shots and come up with 2 big saves. I know his dad's in the building and certainly like to get him up in the booth sometime. Great partner to work with. As St. John now, Gilmore, they'll work that left side. Catoni gets a step on the run. His shot stopped by Shanahan. Shanahan will look for an outlet, lob it up. McDonald will wait for it and secure it. Inside, Hazen. Crease though the call. So right on the doorstep, but you saw that toe right on the line. And now the Outlaws. Nolan. So a 4-goal game here. Outlaws trying to close the gap. Inside, St. John. Catoni on the skip. Looking for it on the cut. Looking for Whiteford, couldn't connect. Shanahan will pick that up, and he'll move it up in a hurry, but over the head of Horsley and out of play. So right back the other way, belongs to the Outlaws. Gilmore, he'll swing it across. They'll slow it up. Gilray on fire. Gilray again now with room. She probably should have taken the first shot, ran out of space there. And now Matthews has his stick checked by Whiteford. They'll have to zip it up in a hurry, and Matthews in his speed. Good job by Horsley to find him. Matthews gets a step. Dump off. McNabb. He'll swing it across. Ward gets chased out by Page. Good defense. Wrapped up underneath. Great save. Szyckowski creased the call. Picked up in a hurry. Moved up now Nolan with St. John. Simon's trailing. Has room. Twister wide of the mark from point blank. Halls the other way. He'll move it up. Has McDonald to his left. Stead dumps it off Estrat. He'll recover. Get that. Pick it up. Zip it across. And McNabb now plays the carom. Jones. 10 on the shot clock. Sutherland. He lets it go. Szyckowski right there. Good job by Veltman not to pick it up in the crease. He'll move it up. And now here comes Szabo. Szabo will flip Catoni. He'll chase him down. And he'll get it to St. John. Under 12 minutes to go here in the fourth. In tight, Catoni. 8 on the shot clock. Catoni. LeBar on him. His shot right on. And that's going to be a Brampton penalty. And it's going to go to Duncan Carte. Carte not happy with that, but that's going to give Oshawa another power play. And just what Coach Dowling talked about off the top, you give this Oshawa power play a chance to get warmed up, they're going to make you pay. And injured on the play was Tate Catoni. So he's off on his own power, which is always a good sign. We'll keep an eye on him. Looks like he doesn't need any attention, just a breather. So back to the power play go the Outlaws, and a chance to close the gap here, trailing by 4. A spot in the Final Four next weekend on the line. Quarterfinal. 3 more quarterfinals to come this weekend. Page working with St. John. Page now steps in underhand. Carter Page on time. Second of the game, third straight power play goal for the Outlaws. And it's 15-12 with 11.5 to play. So clearly the pendulum has shifted over to the Outlaws side. The Express have made a habit, though, of answering quick. This is the closest the Outlaws have been since the second. Off the draw, Tagore. Hesitation, Tagore splits the middle. High stick there, that'll get called. And back to the power play go the Outlaws. So what a difference a half makes. 0 for 3 in the first half. They give up 2 shorthanded goals. 3 for 3 in the second half. Chance here now to pull to within 2 if they can find the back of the net here. St. John once again will facilitate things from the top. Simon's out there. In that right shooter steps in, rings it off the post. That one picked up by Beam. He'll work it to Estrat. Estrat, Beam. Too many on the front, Jonah Beam. Short-handed Jonah Beam. Big play there on the turnaround. As Beam in transition found that far corner for a shorty, 16-12. Third shorthanded goal surrendered by the Outlaws in this game. So still a minute 38 left in the penalty to the Express. Too many on the floor, and off the draw, a whole lot going on. None of it legal. Possession belongs to the Express. So they'll work it into the sure hands of McNabb right now and look to kill some time. McNabb ducks it. McNabb twister go 5-hole, but Szyckowski, great job to close that up. And now it's Nolan. So Catoni will set things up here. They'll go back to work now with 1:06 to go in the man advantage. Under 10.5 in the fourth. Kick out swing. St. John has room. Zips out across, and that's airmailed by Gilray. One of the few times he hasn't found the back of the net on a shot. And now McDonald legs it into the offensive zone. 50 seconds to burn, and trying to work some more time. McNabb, 10 on the shot clock. 2 defenders on him. They close it off. McNabb taken down hard, and he does a good job, though, as the shot clock was about to expire. And now Arenalacrosseleague will leg it up. St. John, back, give and go, and not able to finish. And it's picked up, and Janke will move it up to Beam. Final 10 seconds of the Brampton penalty. Under 9.5 to go. Fourth quarter. Penalty over now. Teams back to 5 aside. 10 on the shot clock. McNabb isolated. 5 on Zabo. Zabo on him tight. Great job, Zabo. Great defense. Now he's got a chance here. If he can leg it. Has a man with him, and doesn't have anyone with him. Late to get out of the back door, St. John, and not late. He was just covered. And now Page. McDonald on him. Skips it across Catoni. Back on the run underhand. Simons in the house. 16-13. Tell you, that's a quick release from Simons. Great cut in the middle. Perfect feed right in the wheelhouse. And that was in the back of the net in a hurry. So 8:45 to play here. And the lead now trimmed down to 3. So we knew, I told you about the 2 previous meetings, regular season between these 2 teams and how close they were. This one following suit. Off the draw, Labar, and Labar still hanging around that doorstep. Finally picked out. Beam tried to reach out and touch someone, but he goes down, and now back the other way come the Outlaws. Good defense by the Express as they closed it off. Didn't give Arenalacrosseleague a whole lot to work with, and he'll zip it over to Gilray. Gilray, 10 on the shot clock. He'll let it go, delayed penalty, and it's going to go to Brampton. So a holding call, and hard to argue when 2 of the 3 officials saw the exact same thing. So Thomas McDonald, the guilty party. Back to the power play go the Outlaws. So having pocketed 3 and given up a shorty this half, the Outlaws back at it now. So just over 8 minutes to play, and Page out there working with Gilray on that right side. St. John where he usually is, Catoni and Whiteford. So here they go. Plenty of time in the shot clock. Skip, Gilray, back out. Page lets it go. Great save there. Stays in play. So a good job standing tall by Devlin Shanahan. Back to it. Outlaws. St. John. Backhand skip. Whiteford has room behind the net. Page. No look. Picked off. It's Estrat. 1-on-1. St. John. Estrat ducks in. Estrat has it taken away. Great defense by St. John as he knocks it strips. Estrat still battling for it. No giving him. St. John comes away with it. Bounces off 2 and moves it up. Whiteford. Still plenty of time in the power play. Just over 7 minutes left here in the 4th. 3-goal lead. Under a minute now in this power play. St. John. Catoni shot wide of the mark. Takes a good Oshawa bounce in tight. Page. Page backhand try right on. Gilray tracks it down. Fresh 20. Gilray left it hanging, changed up with a little bit of a bouncer. And it's the Outlaws that fish it out, but through the crease. And with 6:40 to go, that will take us to our final officials timeout. To go, and with 6:40, we are headed into crunch time. 3-goal lead, Express. Janke will bring it over the timeline. They'll go to work on, it's Ward. Ward, Tagore on him. Bit of a stagnant offense, but they're trying to burn some time here as 15 seconds left in the man short. 7 on the shot clock. Janke on the run. Has some room, he could step in and picks a corner. Whoa, Jacob Janke. Money time. 3rd of the game for Janke. Dare I say it, but 4th shorthanded goal surrendered by the Outlaws. 4 seconds left. And what a big goal. Janke, wrong stick side, caught Schutzkowski leaning the wrong way. Off the draw, Beam flips it back. Penalty over, team's back, all even. Battle in that far corner. If you're Brampton, you could care less about that clock ticking down. Time on their side. And Whole lot. Labar right in the middle of it. It finally pops out, and Trzaskowski, and that's going to be a penalty. Touching the goalie's stick in the crease. So Oshawa should just really take a shot right now. That's right. And let him touch it and go to work. So just over 5.5. And you can't argue that call as it was in the goaltender's stick. Ninth power play opportunity of the game for the Oshawa Outlaws. And trailing by 4 with 5.5, you figure that they got to get something here. They have continued to fight and claw their way back. Trailed 2-1 after 1, trailed 11-5 at the break, 15-10 after 3. Chance here. Rolling in with Simons. Couldn't get it. Whiteford fishes it out nicely. No reset. St. John. Gilray ducks in. His shot right off the logo. And now a chance to move it up. And it's McDonald. Good job. Gets it to Beam. Under 5 to go here. Quarterfinal number 1. Hazen. You got to figure they're going to spread the floor here and try to use this entire 30. Down to 10. Swing around. Ferreira gets bounced out. Gets back up with it, but his job is done. And now the Outlaws with 1:05 to go in the man advantage. 4.5 to play here. St. John. So Catoni and St. John have switched now. Catoni's shot. Good pad save. And they're going to keep playing. Matthews now has Janke with him. Janke ducks in. Great save, Trzaskowski. Rebound picked up, though, by the Express, so they'll have a chance here to burn some more seconds. Janke has played an outstanding game. 10 on the shot clock. Janke gets a step. Janke's shot, easy save right off the Outlaws logo. And now moving up with 15 seconds left in the man advantage. See if Oshawa tries to work it here. St. John. Gilray. And it's picked off. So third time that's happened. Quick outlet, Estrat. Estrat has a man. Halls. Estrat, Halls. Halls! Bouncer! Back of the net. Right out of the penalty box and into the back of the net. Tyler Kids in the Hall, second of the game. A big one for the Express. So an opportunity at one end and not able to capitalize. It turns quickly into a goal at the other. How many times have we seen that in this game? And that's why it's the fastest game on 2 feet. Under 3.5 to go here. Off the draw, Whiteford. Whiteford curls in and answers. So a quick, swift answer. James Whiteford picks up his second. And it's 18-14. So hats off to the Outlaws. They're still not throwing in any towels. Still playing hard here. The Express, under no circumstance should they get comfortable. It's one of the beauties of the Arenalacrosseleague, the regular season. No undefeated team, and every team won at least 2 games. Estrat, step. He goes hard, but wrong stick side. Trzaskowski does a good job, but the battle to the loose balls finally picked up Whiteford. Gets it to Zabo. Zabo move it up, 3 minutes to play in someone's season. Simons. One-on-one, McDonald on him. Simons gets it, Whiteford. Probably should have taken that quick shot. He's got a bullet. Flips it, St. John. 8 on the shot clock. John St. John, shovel back. Gilray can't handle it. Shot clock at 2. Great job there to keep it and change possession as the Express now 2.5 minutes away from punching their ticket to next week's Final Four. Ward. Butka. Has Nathan Jones. Jones kick it back to McNabb. McNabb, 10 on the shot clock. Inside, Butka well wide of the mark on the spinorama. Ward, no reset. 3 in the shot clock. Jones wasn't able to get it clean. That'd be a shot clock violation. Oshawa has it now. We're at the 2-minute warning. Nolan. And looks like we're going to have a timeout called, and that'll allow us here to take a break with just under 2 minutes to play. Back at it here as the Outlaws will inbound. So they've got a bit of a mountain to climb here. 4 goals. Is it possible? Absolutely in this game. St. John, kick over. Gilray's shot knocked down. And great job by Shanahan. Got the knob of it and picked up that loose ball, and it's ahead now. Halls. Shutzkowski was out of the net for the extra attacker. Halls elected to pull it out to burn some clock. Good decision there. Halls. He'll send it over. Estrat will boot it and try to run under it, but Tagore instead now moves it under a minute and a half. Tagore got to attack the net. Tagore chased out by Beam. Don't have a whole lot of time, trailing by 4. You got to go to work. Shutzkowski out, extra attacker on Page. No look pass as St. John's found no one, and now Halls has a chance to secure it, and he finds the corner, and that may be end of story with 1:02 left in this game. Third pocketed by Halls. He's had himself a fine performance here in this quarterfinal. And that mountain just got a tad bit higher for the Outlaws. And coming into this, regardless on paper, you had a 2 seed and a 7 seed. And the thing is in this league, when you start a new season, you don't know what you're going to get. But once again, these two teams battling. We're into the final minute. Less than a minute away from heading to the Final Four. St. John's pellet right on. Stop Shanahan outlet. And it's Matthews. And Matthews is going to stop, drop, and set up shop just over the timeline. 35 seconds left on the game clock. And this is going to spell the end for the Oshawa Outlaws for this season. And just a hard-fought battle, but the Express got it done when they needed to, as they'll just roll it into the corner. And with 13 seconds left, the Outlaws will just inbounds. I can't see there being any issue. They'll let that wind out and had to end things off. Good sportsmanship class, and want to say a special shout out to the Oshawa Outlaws. Faced a lot of adversity this season. Joe Hiltz and company, of course, Todd Wilfong, Neil Pike. Great job at holding things together, always putting a competitive team out on the floor. And the Outlaws will be back at it next season. Congratulations to the Brampton Express. They are 19-14 winners. They will advance to next week's Final Four. Who they play, we'll have to wait and see. Just a reminder, tomorrow, Saturday, quarterfinal number 2, 1 p.m. at the track. It'll be the Oshwegan Bears and the Whippy Steelhawks. Sunday, doubleheader, ILA, 1 p.m., Toronto, Paris, 4 p.m., Peterborough, Six Nations. On behalf of the Arenalacrosseleague, JVI Productions, I'm Lance Wynn. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.